let's take time and explain camera raw filter. But in this video particularly, I'm going to talk about how to work with the texture, clarity, contrast, the base of camera raw filter. We're not going to explore more about color grading here. I've already opened the picture, and don't worry, a link to the picture will be in the description for you to practice along with it. Here's the picture of a model, and you're going to start using the camera filter. Before you do anything, make sure you go back to the layers, press Ctrl J or Command J to duplicate. Then after that, let's turn this layer off. Then let's go to filter. Let's locate camera raw filter from this section. Camera raw filter has been opened successfully, and I'm using camera raw filter the version 12.4, which is the 2020 versions of camera raw filter. Maybe in yours it is an advanced like 2025 or coming down to 2021. It is fine, everything is cool. Then let's do some changes here. I'm going to compare the two pictures before and after, but you're not going to use Ctrl+Z to do that. Go back here, click on this, and it's going to tell you the before and the after. To achieve it, maybe sometimes when you click on it, it's going to show only this side. Make sure you have yours. Right click on this, and you see we have single view, before and after, left and right, before and after, left and right split. Then we have the top and bottom. Let's express the this is the left and right, as you can see from here. Right click again, and this is split. Now if you go here, now you can see the picture is going to be divided into two to let you know the before and the after for you. Right click again, and let's locate the bottom and the top. Right click again and split. That one too, once you start working it, you see the effect. But in this slide, we're going to achieve use only the before and after left split. Let me do it again. This one, this way. And coming here too, you can as well change the zoom appearance of the picture. 6% to zoom it in, then 12% you go and start increasing. Fit in view, this is how the original size will look like. Or if you like, you can also put 100% to see whatever you are doing. But let's put at 50% or as well as 15, which is going to be perfect. And none of it, if you don't want to go this side to make sure you are holding the Alt key on the keyboard and use your scroll wheel to start manipulating around this. I think doing this one is quite good instead of using the views you have here. Some of them isn't quite good for us. But once you hold the Alt key and start using the scroll wheel, you can as well toggle between the zoom in and the zoom out. Once you reach where you feel like it is okay for you, then we leave it. So in this my case here, I'm leaving it at this particular side. And to move from one point or side by side, make sure you are holding on to the space bar on the key, then you start moving them around. This is how you're going to. This is where I'm going to play around with the camera raw filter. I'm going to only play around with the basic and the detail here, and as I'm going to take time to explain the curve as well. In the next video, we talk about color mixing and stuff. But in this video, in some cases, you'll be seeing a design where you have the picture so looking fine. Some of them uses Topaz plugins and others use camera raw filter. All of them is good for you. Topaz tutorial is also coming along on the way, but in this case, let's dive into camera raw filter. We're going to basics. Once you open this, you have to find balance. As always, leave it as short. Don't just do it. If you want to auto-tune or auto the picture, it's fine, but leave it as short. Then let's get started. Now, I'm not going to play around the temperature or the tint. We're only going to talk of the contrast, texture, clarity, and ease. That's where our interest lies. Now, before I start, I have two of them. We're going to only tackle the texture and the clarity with the sharpen Then after that, you add the exposure and other stuff. So let's start with it. At first, let's start with the texture. Now, if you position the texture around a high value, the picture gains more texture, like kind of sharpen the image very well for you to identify what you are doing. As you can see from the two images, let me zoom in and you see zoom out. Yeah. Look at the before and the after of the two images. You can see this has gained more color than this one. You're going to play around until you feel like it is okay for you. And sometimes too, it depends on the picture you're going to use. If your image itself is not that clear, then you're going to face a problem where you have a lot of work to do by trekking around to achieve what you want. Sometimes the pictures need for you to turn off the clarity or the texture down. Others too need you to position them at high values. That's how we. In this case, you are going to tune around with the clarity to around 75 is okay. Now see something. See the before and the after. Where the clarity is higher, you see what is happening to the picture. Kind of gaining more clarity to it, meaning more clear for you to identify certain things. And as well, already see some of the images will require you to reduce the clarity. Some of them will require you to make it high. So in this case, I'm going to position the clarity around 56. Let's check if you can see 56. So 56. Then this is how it is. You see here. Then you go back to detail here. Some pictures too about the details will like you to play around with the noise reduction, but in this case, this picture doesn't require that. I'm going to only use the sharpening around 136 will be okay. Then we can see the results. 136 is okay. Now check the two pictures. You see the before and the after. More work is going on. A lot is happening to the image, making it pop out from the design. Sometimes you may as well want to remove the background. That's your own case. And again, it depends on the image you are using. Yes. Now you can see that we only use the texture, the sharpening, the clarity without no exposure, no contrast, and other stuff. In this case, I'm going to reset everything, then you add those kind of things to it to see what is going to happen to the images. You don't take your time and fast forward this part and reset it to normal. Welcome back again. In this case, I'll reset it to normal. I'm going to add the exposure, the contrast, and other stuff to it to see between the two which one is good for you. That's your own case. And I will also leave the cheat sheet for you to know where you check the texture. I'll put it there in the description for you to know what you can do with it. Then in this case, I'm going to play around with the exposure to about 0.46. Then let me reduce it to about 0.40. The contrast to, let's play around with it to about 18. Then let's go to the Dehaze, which is going to be this one, to about +10. We'll also go back to the blacks to about 10. Then let's go on with the clarity and the texture and see what is going to happen. Let's go back to the clarity. You see, in that first case, we use the clarity about 56. Now let's use about 100 and let's see the whole vibes. You can see what is going on. And let's go back to the texture and play around with around 78. You see what is happening? You see what is happening? You see? Yes. But in this case, it feels like it's very too dark for me, of which I'm not quite liking it. So I'll try to track around with the clarity and as well increase the texture in this case. Now you can see the before and the after for justification. This is how it goes. Let's go back to the sharpen, and in that case let's sharpen it to about 70. It's okay, and let's hit on okay for us to see what is happening now. Let's wait. Let's turn this guy on. You can see the before and the after, before and the after. Yes, that's how we achieve this particular one. And maybe it's that when you're editing the picture, you can see that we didn't convert this much of it. So anytime you put another image and you want to apply the same filter on it, it's going to be hard. You have to go back again and tweak it. So next time, whenever you want to edit a picture, once you duplicate it, right click on it and convert it to Smart Object, so that in a nearby picture you can also use the same filter that you use and apply on the image. Thank you for watching, and more tutorial is coming on toolpaths and camera filter. Stay peace, and I'm out.